Hi students, I guess you're all doing really very well. A very good evening to all of you. I guess you're all doing well. A very good evening. Come on, let us see how many of you are here. Now, you have seen so many videos or rather geography videos of mine on this particular channel, that is PW OnlyIAS English. Many of you ask, sir, when are we going to launch the batch of geography, let us say be Titan or Pinnacle. So I am here with the Pinnacle batch 2028. And I'm going to teach geography here, complete geography, that is the world geography as well as the Indian geography, environment and ecology, and disaster management. And we will, rather me in particular and along with my team, we'll make sure that you love this subject. Many of you find this subject little difficult because of the technicalities that are involved. We very often understand there are certain problems because it involves certain concepts of science also, like particularly the topics of climatology. So we are here to resolve every single query so that you start loving this subject in a way that any question that comes for your preliminary examination or for that mains examination, you are able to solve them with a lot of ease. We will be analyzing today what geography is. I will be giving you what all books you require, what type of notes we are going to give you, the way I'm going to teach you, what type of diagrams I'm going to make, what is the importance of maps. We're going to discuss everything here today. So you don't need to worry. At the last, after I have discussed all this stuff, I will be there to resolve all the queries that you have. So be patient. We will be there resolving all the queries. So let us begin with today's very interesting and first lecture, that is of the Pinnacle Batch 2028, lecture number 1, that is Introduction to Geography. Now, the important thing you will ask me, sir, what are we going to discuss or analyze in this particular lecture? Now, many of you have a lot of queries. I very well understand. I'll be resolving all the queries, so you don't need to worry about that. First, we will see what basically geography is. What are the branches of geography? What is the syllabus for the prelims as well as the mains examinations when we talk about geography, whether world or whether we are talking about India? What are the trends and approach? Now, when I'm going to talk about the approach, please remember how you have to study geography. What are the books that are available, or what are the use of the notes that we're going to give you, or what I'm going to write on the board? Along with it, what is the importance of the maps, the diagrams, how you have to write the answers? Along with it, class routine, how you're going to solve the PYQs during the classes, answer writing, and all those things are going to be discussed today. So just get ready. We're going to start this lecture. So whatever queries you have, I'll be addressing all the queries at the end of the lecture. So let's begin today's lecture. That is the first lecture of the Pinnacle Batch 2028 with the topic of Introduction to Geography. Let's begin. Now, this is my Telegram ID. You can connect me through the Telegram ID. This is my Instagram ID. You can connect me through this Instagram ID also. Now, if you see this man, obviously he appears older than me, and he is Eratosthenes. When I talk about Eratosthenes, he is the father of geography. Now, when we start studying about geography, it is also very particular and important to understand about who basically coined the word geography. Then slowly, we'll move ahead. As I've told you, the approaches, the books and everything will be discussed. So let's understand. When I use this word geography, let's see here. Geography. Now, this particular word has been coined by this particular man, Eratosthenes. And that is why he is also known as the father of geography, right? So that is why, if you see, he is also known as the father of geography. So I can write it here only to make it more precise. Now, when we talk about this word geography, we're going to address all the queries, don't need to worry about that. When we talk about the father of geography, please remember one thing. This is derived from the word geography, which is coined by Eratosthenes. He's given this word, but it is basically composed of two particular words. Let's understand that. Now, word geography itself, word geography is made up of two words. Let's see them. First is geo, then the next word is graphy, or graphos was the actual word from which it was derived, graphos. Now, if I want to ask what the meaning of geo and graphos basically means, so please remember, geo means earth here, geo means earth, it means earth. When I talk about graphos, graphos basically means description. So according to Eratosthenes, what can I say? Geography is basically the description of earth. So if I want to summarize these, what does it mean? What does it mean? Can I say that geography thus geography is thus a description of earth? Description of earth. Now, this is one of the very initial definitions of geography, right? Very initial definitions of geography. Absolutely good, very good. All of you, some of you have studied this concept also, wonderful. So when I talk about geography, geographos, it is derived from these two words. So geographos means description of the earth. Now, when I talk about description of the earth, do you actually study only the description of the earth? No, you do not. So that means when the word was coined, it had a very limited definition, or the meaning of geography was very limited. That means it is just describing the earth. Now, as we went forward, we realized that the definition obviously enlarged. We very often study that whenever we are studying a particular subject, we realize that that particular subject takes inspiration from various other subjects also. That we will study in the branches of geography. We will explain that also, they don't need to worry about that. But you should understand this thing very clearly, right? Okay. Somebody is asking it is recorded or live. I am live here, so don't need to worry. The session is live. Okay. So this is a very limited definition. So what is the problem here? What is the problem here? This definition is very limited. Definition is very limited. What do you mean by limited? It does not explain everything very properly. So now what happened? There were certain people, a certain set of thinkers gave some other description also what geography basically means. So let us see what is the other alternative definition. Can I also say then geography, let us take another slide only. Geography can also be defined as description or study of the earth, Some books write it earth's surface, then also it is fine. Earth, in bracket you can write surface, the places, the people who are living, and the interaction between and among them. Between and among them. Now, this is relatively more comprehensive definition that we study. Now, let me explain you using an example also. I am saying geography is defined as a study of the earth overall, places, people, and the interaction that is taking place between or among all these things. Clear? All these things. And this description, or rather the definition, is little more holistic than the previous description. Now, let me make you, let us say, understand, right? Make you understand this particular definition through an example. Let's understand this. Okay. How many of you have heard about a tribe known as Khasi tribe? Have you heard the name of Khasi tribe? Quickly tell me in the comment section. There's a tribe known as Khasi tribe. Where is it located? In Meghalaya. right? In the northeastern region. So let us take an example of the Khasi. I will relate that with the geography and the various aspects which this definition is covering. Let us understand this. If I just draw the map of the northeastern region, let us see this. You will see for yourself that there are three important hills over here: Garo, Khasi, and Jaintia. This one is basically referring to what? Khasi Hills. Khasi Hills, right? Yeah. Very well, you should be knowing this. Most of you would know. If you do not, then also. How to draw an Indian map? I am guaranteeing you that I am going to draw an Indian map in front of you also. And how to make it easy, that also I'll teach you, so don't need to worry about that. Now see over here. This is Khasi. Now the definition of geography says that surface of earth, places, people, and the relationship among them. Now let us understand this definition through an example, right? Let us understand this definition. Let's see. This is basically what? Khasi. Now where is Khasi located? Now tell me, this Khasi Hills located? Let's see. If I use this particular thing, if I see the Khasi Hills, first of all, where is it located? Located in Meghalaya Plateau. Location. We'll do all this thing in detail. Don't need to worry. We're going to do geography, when we do Indian geography comprehensively, we're just understanding the definition. Location is what? Meghalaya Plateau. Meghalaya state, yes. To be more precise, Meghalaya Plateau, right? Where? Northeastern region, Northeast India. Now, very often, because you haven't studied geography, we'll be studying this. Many often people think that because these hills are located, it might be an extension of the Himalayas. Please remember this very well. This Meghalaya Plateau is not the part of the Himalayas. Not the part of the Himalayas. It is basically the part of the Peninsular Plateau, which is separated by a Malda Gap, which we will study when we will study Indian geography. So over here, please remember, we know that it is a part of Peninsular Plateau. Peninsular Plateau. So that means through this, I am basically able to understand, okay, location. Now, if I'm talking more holistically, let's understand what type of climate is present there. You know that very well. This is a region where a lot of rainfall happens, right? It is one of the most wettest part of the world, right? Very wet, particularly during the monsoon. So this is again, why does the rainfall happens like regions like Mausam Ram, Cherrapunji? Why is there a rainfall so heavy in these regions? Please understand, because we are studying geography, we are relating this to the definition. The reason is, let us understand, there are certain hills present here. Mausam Ran is present in this particular place. So what happens when the monsoon laden winds come here, they get trapped. They're not able to move this side or that side, and they're forced to shed the water over here, and that is why this region receives a very heavy rainfall. So that means climatically, from the climate aspect also, I'm studying this, like location, climate. Now, if I talk about this particular region from the aspect of what? Resources. Let us see this. Resources. You should know this very well that Meghalaya Plateau over here is very rich in what? Coal, limestone, traces of, even it has uranium. It even has iron ore. So that means with respect to the resources. Now, if I talk about with respect to the people, now you will understand something very carefully. The people who are present here are majorly the Khasi Hill has Khasi tribe. Now, if I see Khasi tribe, let us understand a little bit about Khasi. Now, these Khasi tribes are those people who basically have been staying here from hundreds and hundreds of years, right? They're indigenous groups. Now over here, they are basically indigenous groups. That means you can put it as scheduled tribes also. They practice, or they used to practice zooming or shifting cultivation. Now obviously there are restrictions, but you can say shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation. If you see religion wise, most of them have adopted Christianity during the time of the Britishers, but some of them are even Buddhist. So majorly Christian. Now just understand this particular thing very clearly. Did you realize what I have done? Geography does not simply mean that you are understanding or reading a particular location. No, that is incomplete. It is a holistic aspect where you are studying places, the people, the interaction. Now please understand this. If the location is this particular place, and that is why you realize it is being influenced, the climate is being influenced because of the location, and vice versa also. So the location is here, that is why you realize the climate is also according to that. So very wet, monsoon time, you know, Mausam Ram, again I told you, because of the funneling effect, the monsoon is very heavy. Resources, you have coal, because again, the resources are like coal, limestone, iron, because it is related to the peninsular plateau, not with respect to the Himalayas. Please remember that we will do when we will do Indian geography. People, Khasi tribe is present. It is a scheduled tribe. They have been practicing shifting cultivation or zooming, and they are majorly adopted Christianity during the British time. Now, if you see this, do you realize an interrelation between or among all these things? This is what is the interaction between and among the things. This is how geography is studied. Geography is not limited, right? Clear? Yes, we will be studying that concept. We will be studying Indian geography, how it's happened, Malda Gap, how it was formed, all those things will be taught to you. Don't worry. Now, when we are studying over here, you will realize this, that this particular place, these particular things are basically explaining you how this interaction is working. Right now, we are not doing Indian geography. We are broadly understanding what geography is. We will first begin with the world geography, and then we'll move to the Indian geography also. So is this definition clear to everybody? This definition talks about the fact that geography is a holistic discipline. It is not limited to simply description of the earth. It also talks about the economic aspect, the physical aspect, the human angle with respect to what people do. So all these things are described over here. So this is a more holistic definition of geography. Quickly tell me, is it clear? Quickly. Is it clear? Now, when I have studied this definition relatively more holistically, let me go to the other part, let us say, okay? Clear? Now let me go to, is it clear everybody? Let me go to the other part. Let's see. Now the other part is, the question arises, sir, okay, we have understood what geography is. First thing in order to understand is to understand what geography is. Now if you want to have understood geography, now you need to understand what are the branches of geography, because I said it is a holistic discipline. It is not limited to one aspect. It has multiple aspects associated with that. So first, now the next step, first we have studied what geography means. Next step is, what are the branches of geography? Now everybody see what are the various branches of geography that we basically study also. We for civil services, and obviously there are a lot of specializations involved in this particular field. Let's see this. If I broadly divide it, one branch can be the physical geography branch. Let us see this. Let's write it. Physical geography. Physical geography. This is something we all know also. Now let us see the sub branches also for that matter. This is what? Physical geography. Okay. Let me first focus on the physical geography. What are the branches? Then I'll go to human geography, and then I'll go to the other parts which are involving geographical techniques. Now let's see. There is one major part which we study in physical geography. That is what? Geomorphology. Geomorphology. Now this geomorphology is basically inspired from which subject? Geology. From the geology part, we have taken certain parts that is basically forms a geomorphology for the geography part. So, inspired from what? Geology. Okay. Second branch which we talk about is, let us say, oceanography. Oceanography, where we talk about oceans, where we talk about the aspects of tides, waves, currents, and all those dimensions associated with them. Yes, exactly. Geomorphology is basically study of the landforms. Absolutely correct. This is inspired from which subject? Hydrology. Then there is one technical subject, technical aspect of physical geography. That is what? Climatology. That means sometimes people find it difficult, so we're not able to understand there. And you will see for yourself when you will be in the batches also how easy it is to understand. I will be drawing every single diagram, every single map in front of you. When we'll go through the batches, all those concepts, every single thing will be done in front of you, so that you yourself imbibe the habit of making maps and diagrams, right? So over here, climatology. This is again inspired from meteorology. Clear? Then comes the aspect of biogeography. It is inspired from biology. Then comes the aspect of soils topic, right? Over here, we basically talk about the aspect of pedology. Clear? Clear, everybody? Clear? You can call it soil geography also or soil topic. It is absolutely clear. There is no problem. You can put soil geography also here. I've just written soil. There is no problem. Now, these are the broad branches of physical geography. Now, when we talk about geomorphology, please remember, what is it studying? It is studying landforms. Yes? Clear? It is studying landforms. Landforms over here, what type of landform are present? Mountains, plains, etc. Everything related to the landforms and physiography studied in geomorphology. It is taken from which discipline? Geology. From geology part, we have taken this geomorphology. Then comes oceanography. Now, in geography, the part of ocean which we have taken is taken from a subject known as hydrology. Now, hydrology studies in detail related to oceans and aspects, changes, climate changes associated with that. So, we have taken from this part the oceanography thing. Now, in oceanography, we study what do you understand by tides, what do you understand by waves, currents, what is the bottom topography, what are the sea beds, continental shelf, continental slope, abyssal plains, sea mounts, mid-oceanic ridges, what are the concepts associated with them, all are studied over here. When I talk about climatology, now climatology as a discipline, please understand, when we talk about initially what happened is, climatology as a discipline was not existing. Earlier what people used to do, they used to study weather conditions. Now, there is a difference between weather and climate also. Now, people used to study weather, short-term aspects associated with the changes that are taking place in the atmosphere. So, the subject overall initially that evolved was meteorology, that used to study weather conditions and all. Now, we required aspect that needs to be studied at a larger scale. So, the topic of climatology, which is present in geography, is taken from the aspect of meteorology, where weather phenomena, associated aspects, all those things with anything that has got to do with the climate is basically studied over here. Then we talk about biogeography. We talk about, again, the interaction with respect to living forms and all, certain aspects of biodiversity. We will do this in detail in the environment aspect that is taken from biology. When I talk about soil, now soil is taken from the subject of pedology, which basically studies in detail the topic of soil. Clear, everybody? So these are the parts of what? The parts of physical geography. Now, if I want to study the human geography part, now please understand this very well. All these things are going to be taught to you by me, right? Now comes the aspect of the next part, which is the human geography. Let's see, human geography. Now, when I'm talking about human geography, people will ask me, sir, is human geography important? Please remember, whether it is prelims or the mains, any subject that you study, even if you are studying economics, you need to know about the resources, and also the subject of geography is basically the mother of all these subjects or the social sciences. That is why knowledge with respect to geography becomes important if you want to solve questions even of economics, or if you want to do some policy planning also. So over here, when I talk about human geography, let us understand what are the various subjects or parts and from which subject they have been inspired. Let us see. First, we have the topic of political geography. Political geography. Political geography. Now, this is inspired from what? Political science, right? From what? Political science. You have a part which is basically historical geography. Historical geography. Now, historical geography is basically inspired from the subject of history. I'll explain all of them. Don't need to worry about that. We also study about the topic of economic geography. Yes, you study about resources. You study about what type of resources are present in which part of the country or the world. So whether it is offshore, onshore. So you got to study all these things. That is part of the economic geography. Now, the economic geography is again taken from the various aspects related to the topic of economics also. So economic geography. From the subject of economics. Now you have an aspect where social geography comes. Social geography. Now, social geography is taken from sociology. Now, there is another aspect, cultural geography. Cultural geography. Now, this has been taken from anthropology. Though various books basically club socio-cultural anthropology and put it as anthropology and sociology, that is also fine. There is no problem in that. Sociology, then this is anthropology. Clear? Yes. Are you everybody understanding this? Clear? But I'll tell you all those, so don't need to worry. I'll be explaining all your queries, solving all your queries, right? Now see, you have aspect of population geography. Population geography. It is taken from the subject of demography. Demography. Now, there are certain philosophical aspects also that people will study in their optionals, not in the general studies. That is basically related to the thoughts, geographical thoughts. So, that is basically part of what? The philosophy. Geographical thoughts. Geographical thoughts. That is part of philosophy. Did you see so many branches? You can, right? No problem, doesn't matter. Those who have missed also, you can continue from this also. We're just discussing the branches here. Now, if you see here, there are a lot of things that I've discussed here, right? Many of you will restrict the geography even here. Now, let us first understand this. Political geography. Now, you realize that just now Strait of Hormuz issue is going on, right? What has that got to do with geography? Politics and geographical aspects clashing with each other. Iran and United States fighting over this political geographical aspect. So that is taken from political science, where politics is involved, but geography is also involved. That is why this state of Hormuz is the best example which talks about the political geographical aspect. Do you agree to that? Similarly, right? Clear? Okay. Okay, let's see. Historical geography. Historical geography also talks about lot of things that have taken place in the past. Let us say which have overlap with the history, how history has influenced geography or geography has influenced history. So that we basically take from the topic of history. Then comes economic geography. When you talk about minerals, locational factors, why certain mineral is located here, why some industry is located here. Right? You will be asking, sir, if we want to export certain things to, let us say, the continent of Africa, where shall we have our ports? Should we have it on the east coast or should we have it on the west coast? Obviously, you should have on the west coast because if you want to export certain things to Africa, the distance will be less. Agreed. So why these factors happen? Why can we have a, let us say, a IT firm in any place where we want, provided as factors of internet and certain facilities are available? But why in the case of, let us say, iron ore, we need to have the industry close to the raw material? So all these things are aspects related to the economics because it will reduce the cost. It will reduce the cost. So economic geography becomes very important, associated with the subject of economics. Social and cultural geography, we can take it as together only, where social aspects related to, let us say, marriage, family, kinship, again, those are parts of anthropology also and part of culture also. So your rituals, traditions and all, those are inspired from the subject of sociology and anthropology, right? Next comes population geography. Now you know that census is going on, right? Absolutely, transportation cost, absolutely correct, wonderful. When we talk about the fact of census right now, do you realize this, that there is an aspect of geography also involved here because we are basically finding out which state has more population, which district has more population. Now, if you see the places where literacy rate is less, where poverty is more, you will realize that the population density is going to be more there. So that means there is a relationship between a region and the population, and how they're related, it is basically from the subject of demography, which studies about population. Last comes geographical thought. See, this topic is basically associated with those people who are going to do geography optional, but there are certain concepts which you also need to know. Like, for example, determinism, possibilism, which I am going to teach you also when we will do the lectures. As we move ahead, we'll be discussing those concepts also. Those are derived from the concept of philosophy. Are these sub branches of these two clear to everybody? Quickly tell me, everybody. Physical geography and human geography, these branches of these subjects are clear. We will be covering all these things. Please remember that. As we move ahead, we will be covering all these dimensions. In your lectures, I will be covering the human geography also in totality for India as well as world. So you do not worry about the fact that we are only going to do physical geography. No, we will be covering every aspect, including the human geography, including every map, including every diagram that will be made in front of you on the board. Clear? Is it clear to everybody? Quickly. Now, there is another aspect which people are least associated or concerned, which is basically geographical techniques. Geographical techniques. Now, you will see that when I show you the syllabus, you will understand that. Did you realize there is a question that was asked on geographical information system, right? There were questions that were asked on geographical information system, right? Excuse me. Okay, what is... Are these factors interconnected? Yes, absolutely, these are interconnected. See, whatever you see over here, as we will proceed in the lectures, you will see we will be covering every branch. Everything will be covered. You will see the interconnectivity also that is present. When I talk about, let us assume this. If you have a iron ore present at some place, you have a, let us say, the factory, let us say, associated close to that only. Why? Tell me. Why do you have it close to that? Because if you carry the iron ore to some other place, the transportation cost will increase. So transportation cost is also associated with economics. So that is why we're talking about economics. So every single thing is associated with this. Now comes the aspect of geographical techniques. If you see general studies paper 1, very often people think that, sir, certain questions are asked which appear like they are asked from the science topic, but they are part of geography. How come that can happen? Actually, what happens is when you study geography, you simply study this part majorly. Many people avoid this, and this is studied by none. That is why in the UPSC examination, you will see for yourself that there are certain topics which need to be done well. Let us see them well. See here. There is a branch known as remote sensing. How many of you have heard remote sensing? How many of you have heard remote sensing? Quickly tell me. Have you heard remote sensing? It is taken from the discipline of engineering. I'll explain you all these things, don't worry. Then there is an aspect of cartography. It is taken from the subject of geodesy. Clear? Now you will be seeing for yourself that, Arey sir, this is the concept, how it has come up basically. Now see, clear? Now there is another concept, another part, which is basically GIS. Geographical Information System. It is derived from the subject of computer science. Computer science. Geographical Information System. I can write it down also. I'll write it down, don't worry. Geographical Information System. Clear? Clear? Have you written these? Quickly write it down. Quickly. I'll explain you. Don't worry. I'll explain you all these things. Now there is another thing. Last part. Last part is quantitative techniques. It is taken from statistics. Now let us understand this one by one. This is one sub part which you very often basically do not study. Remote sensing, what do you mean by remote sensing? Remote sensing means that without being direct contact with the earth and all, you are trying to find out the aspects associated with that. Like for example, through the satellites, you are trying to find out the places, things, whether it is forest area or all those aspects are done by through the satellites without being in direct contact. That is remote sensing. Now that is associated with the subject of engineering. Second comes cartography. Now cartography is basically associated with the aspect of maps, making maps. Now maps, again, those topo sheets and all and various other types of maps also that you study are basically part of cartography. Geodesy is a mother discipline which is basically associated with calculating the shape, the size, the latitudinal, longitudinal aspect that is concerned with geodesy. That is a mother discipline for cartography. Mother discipline for cartography. Now comes geographical information system. Do you realize you use GPS? If you use Google Map, you realize you can get a 2D view, you can get a 3D view. Right? Now over there, yes, remote sensing is involved. Absolutely remote sensing is involved. But do you realize over there, information is overlapped with 2D data, 3D data, then it is linked with the server and all that information is being given with respect to geography. So geographical information system, over here computer science is involved. Last is quantitative techniques. Do you realize when you will be giving your census data, there will be a lot of calculations that will be done. Calculation with respect to statistics, like for example, they want to find out certain projections with respect to population or analyze using certain formulas. So all these things involve statistical techniques. That is why quantitative technique is also the part of geography with respect to geographical techniques. Everybody here, am I clear? Am I clear? Clear everybody? So this is what is your whole world of geography with respect to overall. Obviously, we'll do world and India. This is what your branches of geography are. Do you understand this? This is all that you study in geography various disciplines that are present here. So I have basically actually expanded it. We will be going into all these details. Yes, yes. GPS is global positioning system, absolutely. So we will be doing all those aspects, don't worry. Those are basically associated with remote sensing, GIS and all. So all these are the branches. Am I clear to everybody? Quickly. Clear everybody? Okay. Now comes the aspect that you have studied what all disciplines are covered here. Yes? So what all disciplines are covered in geography? Clear? What all disciplines are covered in geography are almost clear to you. Now the next thing that comes is, sir, tell us something that, what is the syllabus also, right? Syllabus over here is important. Why? Because if you are studying for UPSC and you do not know what the syllabus for the particular subject is, then it is of no use. So having done and having understood what, first of all, let us move back. Let us understand this. We studied what geography is, how it is derived, the word meanings or the father of geography. Then we came to the understanding or more holistic definition where I explained you during the aspect of Khasi tribe. Then I went you to explain the branches of geography, where physical geography has so many branches, human geography and geographical techniques are present here. So we studied all these things in comprehensive manner, right? Clear? Clear? Okay. Now comes the aspect of syllabus. Let's see for 2 minutes. Bache, please see this very carefully. The prelims and the main syllabus of geography I have written on the board. Though I have covered the aspect of environment also here, though I will be taking environment and ecology separately, but again you know that very well, these topics are related with the subject of geography. They are very intricately linked. The environment is basically a sister subject only of geography. So I have mentioned the syllabus over here. The preliminary syllabus gives you a very loose explanation. What does it say? It basically says India and world geography. Physical, social, economic geography of India and world. That means, what does that mean? What does that mean? Everything related to the subject of geography, India, world, physical, social, economic, everything, anything can come in the paper. Clear? Clear? Clear, everybody? Now, please understand this very well, that now when we are doing geography, when I'll be doing in the batch also, you will see for yourself that I will be covering physical geography, I will be covering social, cultural geography, I'll be covering economic geography, I'll be covering human geography of the world in India. So that when you are answering the questions in the preliminary or for that matter the mains examination, you do not have any problem. But remember, for you, you might think that sir is doing so much, so many diagrams, so many maps, but beta, it will be useful for you because it will enhance your understanding. At last, you will be in a state where you will be performing really well, much better than any other person. So that is why my request is, during the lectures also, make sure that you give your best, try to understand everything. Wherever you have any problem, I'll be there to resolve them. But we will be doing everything in detail. I will be making all the diagrams. I'll show you. Certain diagrams I've already put on the board also. I'll show you. Those diagrams which I have put, I will be making them in the board in front of you so that you also have a habit and hang of making diagrams and maps. Clear? Okay. Now, this is the environment part, general issues in environment, ecology, biodiversity and climate change. This is the topic which we will study when we will be doing the environment part, right? So, everything related to Indian world geography is a part of your syllabus for your prelims. But when we come to the mains examination, the syllabus with respect to mains geography is directly mentioned in GS1, but indirectly if you see, it is present in GS2 also, GS3 also. For that matter, whether you are, let us say you have your optionals also, in that optional also you can use, or whether in essays also, if you have knowledge with respect to geography, you are definitely able to use it. So obviously geography is one discipline which is, again I say, mother of all the social sciences. That is why geographical knowledge is very, very critical for you. So what does the syllabus say? Salient features of world physical geography. When I talk about physical geography, salient features, so what does it mean? See here. All these geomorphology, oceanography, climatology, biogeography and soils, that is soil geography, everything is basically under the category of world's physical geography. So we have to cover everything over here. That is also a part of your prelims as well as your mains also. So everything is to be covered. That will form the element of world physical geography. Now, second thing comes here, distribution of the key natural resources across the world, including South Asia, Indian subcontinent. Now, do you realize this part comes under the aspect of the human geography, where, let us see, if you see here, economic geography, human socio-cultural geography, all these aspects are covered here. Whichever resources are present in which part of India, the world, everything will be done in detail. So all these things, natural resources, their distribution, especially those which are in the news, become more important. For example, the topic of lithium has been in the news so often. So you will by default see that this year in the mains examination, lithium, their distribution and those aspects will be asked. Yes. Factors responsible for the location of the primary, secondary and tertiary sector of industry. So what are the factors that are involved that one particular industry is located at a particular place? So whenever you are studying the industries, whether it is, let us say, the IT sector, which is related to the tertiary sector, the service sector, or you are talking about with the aspect of certain mining aspects, which is the primary sector, we have to understand the reasons. So with respect to every industry, every aspect, you need to know what are the reasons. These can be asked in the examination. For that matter, it can be asked in your preliminary examination also, right? Yes, Pinnacle 2028. Now, including India. Next is important geophysical phenomena such as earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanic activities, cyclones, geographical features. Now, better remember this. Whatever is written in these two lines is basically already covered in the topic of physical geography. They just have written it again just to, just to mention the importance. You realize last year, if you go to this PW OnlyIAS English channel, I had done a detailed video on tsunami. What are the causes, what are the aspects, what is the impact and all. And it is written also here. So this very year, a detailed question on tsunami came, right? That is why I'm telling you, all these things are already covered in the physical geography aspect, all the disaster aspects also. I will be doing the disaster management topic also later on. So these things will be covered there also. Next is geographical features, their locational changes, critical geographical features including water bodies, ice caps, and obviously related to the climatic changes and all. So the topic of cryosphere, the aspect related to melting of the ice in the Arctic region, aspects of current affairs. So what I am going to do is, please note this very carefully. In your batches also, that is Pinnacle 2028, I'm going to teach geography in totality. I will be adding the aspects of the current affairs from the newspapers as well as a magazine which is known as Down to Earth, so that whatever is coming in the news is also covered along with that. So you will be in a state where you will be able to solve questions for prelims and mains. So I'll be covering the current affair aspect with these topics, all these topics that are mentioned here. This is what is the syllabus for your UPSC prelims as well as the mains examination. Clear, everybody? So though the syllabus has written certain aspects, we are going to cover all these things. So by default, you are covering everything for the prelims as well as the mains examination. Clear? Anything else? Clear? Okay. Now comes the aspect of, because many of you will be thinking, sir, what is the role of geography? When we want to appear for the preliminary examination, what are the total number of questions from, let us say, geography and environment that they're coming, right? Clear? NCERT misses the topics of cryosphere, albedo and mole. Absolutely. That is why remember one thing, that when we are going to do these topics, we are going to do everything that is covered. We are going to go beyond the NCERTs also, and we are going to do it in much more detail, right? So those things will be covered in totality. So don't need to worry about that. Now let us see one thing. I have shown you certain statistics. This is Geography 2025 preliminary examination. This is the division of the marks and the number of questions that have been asked, right? Number of questions that have been asked, right? Somebody is asking, optional is included. No, beta. Optional is not included in the batch. Optional has to be bought separately, right? Like I teach anthropology optional, right? So that is not part of the Pinnacle batch, or for that matter, Titan, Sankal, Prahar. They are not part of these batches. That has to be subscribed differently. Clear? Okay. Now let's see. If you see the 2025 paper from geography and environment, because these are again completely interrelated, over here 26 questions came from the static part. This is a part which I am going to teach you, right? 26 questions from the static part. Out of the current affairs that came 22 questions, 4 were from environment and ecology, that means 4 questions. So you can yourself imagine that out of 100 questions, 30 plus questions are from your geography and environment section. Now, do you understand the importance of this subject? I'm talking about the preliminary examination right now. Clear? Will you teach environment, sir? Yes, absolutely. I will be teaching 3 subjects in this particular batch. First, I will be teaching geography, physical or human, socio-cultural, everything which I mentioned. Then after that, after the geography is complete, then I will be taking environment and ecology session. And after that, you will be having certain other subjects, and then I'll be taking the topic of disaster management also. So these subjects are going to be taught by me in the Pinnacle 2028 batch. Clear? Can you understand that 30 plus questions? Do you understand the importance? Do you understand the importance? More than 60 marks. This is again, there has been a trend where questions have been asked more than that also, right? Sometimes it goes even to 40 questions. 40 questions means 80 marks. So that means if you miss on these topics, or you think that this subject is not important, we will just neglect it, possibly it is a little difficult, then we'll do it later on. Remember one thing, first of all, I can guarantee you one thing, that you will fall in love with this subject. Not that you want to marry it, definitely you need to marry a human being only, but love in the aspect that you will be able to solve the questions for the prelims and the mains examination with ease. This is my guarantee. Many of you, you will realize that would have seen my videos on the YouTube channel, and you very well know the comprehensive level of maps and diagrams that I use in my lectures. Over here, when we will be doing the batches, we will be making every map and diagram in front of you. So that adds to your benefit, and obviously there are going to be personal interaction whenever you have any doubt, we are there to answer them also. So 30 plus questions with respect to your geography. So this is what is the trend. Now if I go to the aspect, if you realize this, over and over year, you realize a lot of questions have been asked with respect to different topics. Over here, if you realize, large number of questions are asked from the topic of climatology, then human and economic geography, Indian geography and maps. So if you realize, out of the physical geography part, climatology becomes very important because it is one topic where questions based on concepts are asked. That is why this topic is little difficult for some students, which we will make sure that you understand every topic. And that is why they will ask you based on cyclones, whether it is temperate, tropical cyclone, whether it is a concept of fronts, whether it is a concept of any other aspect related to the weather phenomena, stability, instability also. So those concepts will be made very clear so that you are able to understand every single aspect. That is why many people are not able to solve the questions and not able to qualify because they miss the topic of climatology. Then if you see, human and economic geography is obviously very often people focus on this part of physical geography and neglect human geography. Over the few years, more than 19 questions have come from human geography and economic geography. That is why we will focus on that also very precisely. All those who have subscribed to the batch, you will realize that the whole schedule has been uploaded with respect to next few months, where I am going to teach, what a lecture is going to be taught. So there is no problem in that. Next is location and map based. Obviously, we are going to do everything in detail with respect to the maps. First, we will do the physical geography aspect of the world, then human aspect of the world, then we'll go to the Indian geography part. Clear? Okay, now comes the aspect of approach. I will tell you the books also, don't worry. Having studied this, the question will ask, sir, what is the approach for preparing for this geography while you'll be attending the lectures, right? You'll be attending the lectures, so you need to know the approach also, sir. What is the approach going to be followed? Listen to this very carefully. First of all, the most important element, lecture notes. That is the class notes, or what I am going to write on the board. This is the most important aspect. Most important. You will see for yourself, we are going to write a lot in the class. Let me be very clear. And Interestingly, I will write everything on the board. You will note down, we will discuss, and we will be making it sure that you understand every bit of it, first of all. So your lecture notes are going to be so comprehensive that every aspect over here is going to be covered. Clear? Okay. Second aspect comes is, now people ask me, sir, what are the books that we need to refer if we want to refer? Right? People ask me. So what are the books? Now see, my lecture notes, please remember, let me be very clear. It is going to cover, in my lecture notes, they are going to cover NCERT, they are going to cover standard books, they are going to cover current affairs, and all other aspects like maps, diagrams, everything, right? They are going to cover everything. You already have a sample when you see the YouTube channel. Go to, just put my name and you will see for yourself every detail with respect to geography is present there, right? But in spite of that, students want to ask what should be the reference books and all. So let's see here. When I talk about the books, let us see the books for 2 minutes. Many students over here might be here to attend the YouTube session and they want to study on their own also. We are very happy. We always promote. See, you want to study on your own, absolutely study. No problem in that. But for that, little bit guidance can be given from our side. How should you approach when you are studying geography? Though everything which all the books that I mentioned over here, everything is going to be covered in my notes. But for those who want to study on their own, let us see. I always advise the students, when you begin with the geography, use NCERTs, right? Use NCERTs. Over here, the NCERT, this is of class, these are both class 11. Class 11. First is the fundamentals of physical geography, which covers the aspect of geomorphology, oceanography, climatology, biogeography, and soil geography also part. Now, it does not mean you're just reading, because if you are preparing on your own also, this should be read very well so that you know every aspect of this book. Then the second part is India physical environment, which talks about the Indian physical geography, right? Whether it is with respect to drainage system, climatology, physiography, soil, vegetation, everything related to India. I will advise students, those who are preparing on their own also, start with class 11 books. This will strengthen your physical geography aspect for the world as well as India. Once you have done this, then comes the human geography aspect. This is class 12 books. Again, this is with respect to the world human geography, human and economic geography. This is with respect to India. I will be covering all these in my batches. So for all those students, they don't need to worry about that. For those who are preparing on their own, for them, we are explaining or giving the names of the books also, because sometimes students want the name of the books. That is why. Once you have done class 11th and 12th NCERTs very well, then doing the NCERTs of those other classes becomes very easy. You can do them in one day also. Other NCERTs are like, this is class 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. Now this can be done in, let us say, 1 week only, because you have done class 10th, 11th and 12th. So these are again simplified forms, but they have to be done. So we will be doing in the class. Those who are preparing on their own, for them, I'm telling this. Then comes another aspect. Many people will be asking me, sir, why are you talking about NCERT? Please remember, if you have a myth in your mind that NCERT is useless, worthless, why are you including NCERTs in your lectures? We can do some advanced topics straight away. Then, bache, you are you are very bigly, or let us say very sharply mistaken, to be very precise. You are mistaken to an extent that NCERTs are those sources which I will include in my lectures for a mere reason that questions are picked up directly from the NCERTs. If you see this, see here, and questions are repeated also, that is why PYQ is important, which I'll tell you in the strategy also. Question in 2022, it came with respect to Northern Hemisphere as the longest day, 21st June, 2019, 2013. All of these concepts are based on a similar aspect that has been taken from the NCERT. If you know the concept, you will be very easily able to do with respect to the change in the seasonal variations. Second, again, Question in 2024 related to the incoming solar radiation. Again, 2022 radiation. Again, with respect to solar radiation, it was from the topic of climatology with respect to heat budget. Similar topics have been repeated again and again from the NCRTs, and obviously the PYQs become important. I'll tell you in the approach, don't worry. Right now, because I'm discussing books. Then the topic comes advance or the standard book. Now, standard book, once the NCRTs are done, I will be covering this also in my lecture. So you do not need to worry about them or go into detail. Those who are preparing on their own, they can definitely refer to this. So this is again the UPSC wala book, a standard book. Now, for other students, one thing I will expect you to have is either this NCRT or this atlas or this atlas. Any one of them should be present with you, because you will realize that atlas is a must. Either you have this, there is no problem. Latest should be present. Latest atlas should be there. This is a minimum requirement. Clear, everybody? Now let us return to this again. Books already explained. Third aspect, please understand. As I've already told you, a very important aspect is you should have the syllabus is obviously there. You should have the previous year questions with you. Now, previous year questions, what I am going to do in my classes also, as the topics get over, I will be giving you solving previous year questions as well as the topics associated with a lot of practice questions associated with that topic. Clear? So you can note this down. Whoever is noting it down, you can please note it down. If you want to note it down, you can note it down. Okay. Next over here, PYQs. Then along with it, please understand, you have to focus on first of all, please understand, understanding. Now that understanding will involve not only the lecture, but whatever maps and diagrams we are doing along with that. I'll show you all those things. Why this is important is, let me give you an example. Supposingly you are doing the topic of drainage system, right? Clear? Okay. Somebody is asking me, but I'll answer you in 2 minutes. Somebody who is doing the topic of drainage system, and supposingly you are reading the drainage system topic, which river flows from which place, and you do not know what is the exact location of the river and how it is flowing, then it is of no use. That means you have not studied the drainage system. That is why map and the diagram along with the content becomes very critical for the subject of geography, whether it is world or whether it is India. And whenever I am explaining you any topic here, you will have a diagram which I'm going to make on the board in front of you so that it becomes easy. Let us understand. Let's see a diagram for that matter. Let's see. These are the diagrams which I'm going to make in front of you during my lectures also. You already know them. This is again the igneous bodies that are present. This is a representation of the various layers. These are handmade diagrams. These are not those pictures that I have taken from some Google images and all. These are handmade diagrams. To make it more precise, see here. With respect to the drainage system, with respect to the topic of weathering. So whenever we are studying the topics of geography, I will be drawing all these diagrams in front of you and you will have to note it down along with it. These are all handmade. No single picture has been taken from Google or everything. These are completely handmade by me. So when we make these diagrams, you have to make sure that you will copy and note it down and you practice it. When you use these maps and diagrams in the examination, you will see for yourself that your marks will increase to a great extent. First was diagrams. Let us see the maps. Now, for example, if you want to use the map, please understand you should have the habit of drawing maps. Initially, when you draw the map, you will possibly not be able to draw it properly. Once you keep on drawing repeatedly, you will realize you will be able to draw the map very well. Let's see. Let's see here. Clear? Let us little bit shift it here. Okay. See here. Does it look like a map of India? Quickly tell me. Does it look like a map of India? Quickly tell me in the comment section. If you agree to this, does this look like a map of India or not? Or you think, no, sir, it is not the map of India, it is a map of some other country? I will make sure that you will be drawing maps repeatedly whenever we are doing the topic of India. So repeatedly drawing. If you make it a habit, you will be able to draw these maps with a lot of ease. Right? Clear? Somebody is saying no. That means, bache, you are living in some other country. Then possibly you need to identify. We either have certain aliens from. Those are freehand diagram. Don't need to worry. Clear? That those are freehand diagrams. You do not have to be. When you are drawing in the examination, you have to draw in less than 5 seconds. So you do not have to give an exact aspect. You have to give it a good diagram, a good map, which is presentable with respect to India. Remember that always. So you do not have to be an artist. You have to draw good diagrams, good maps, which are basically a representation of what India is and maps closer to what they are. Clear? Okay. Now let us see if you later on when we will be doing the world maps also. This is a map that I had drawn by hand only. We'll be discussing. So this is basically a representation of the currents. Warm currents and the cold currents. Everything will be discussed in the class only. We will be drawing these maps, these diagrams. Everything will be done in the class so that you are able to do them and understand them well. Clear? Clear? Any problem here? Quickly tell me. Any problem here? Quickly tell me. Clear? Okay. If you don't mind, no, there is nothing to mind, but we are studying over here. So let us focus here. Chaliye. Now let's focus here. Next comes with respect to the answer writing topic, which is again a very critical part of your approach. What we are going to do in the class next is, fifth is solving PYQs. Next comes answer writing. The question will come in your mind, sir, when we have to do answer writing, right? Let us see this. This is again a map which we have drawn, equally good. Let us see this, answer writing. Please remember, answer writing is the most important and critical part of your part for the mains examination. Okay? Yes, it is hand drawn. You do not have to be so artistic. The map that I had drawn, that is hand drawn, but you do not have to be so artistic, right? You simply have to be draw. We'll do it in the class also. We'll practice it when we are doing. Now let's see. Whenever you're doing answer writing, please remember, let us say this is a sheet. Ten marker question. And there is a sheet. Whenever you are doing answer writing, three things have to be kept in mind. First, the context. Second, the content. Third, the presentation. Context means what is being asked. Are you able to answer that? Are you able to answer that? If do they provide test series in the batch? They provide with 360, select 360, they provide the test series. So you can select that if you want the test series in this particular batch. Without that, you do not get it. Context means what is being asked. Are you writing that? Supposing the question is on a temperate cyclone and you are writing everything on a cyclone, not writing what is being asked, then you will get no marks. Second is content. Content is what is being asked. So what is the quality of things that you are writing? Presentation is how your answer basically looks. There is a lot of scope in getting very high marks in geography because you can use a diagrams and maps here. Let us assume there is a question. Supposing that there is a question here. You write the introduction. You come to the body. You are writing some points here. You are writing some points. You can make a diagram here. You can explain it or give an example. Then you can give a point. You can explain it. You can give a diagram here. Again, explain it. You can give a diagram here. Similarly, if you want to give some point, diagram or a map here. This is how in UPSC you can get very high marks in this particular subject of geography. So today what we have discussed is what geography is, what are the branches of geography, how you have to study geography, what are the books and sources of geography, what is the approach that you need to follow, importance of maps, diagrams, answer writing. All these things are going to be done. And please remember, in every class, we are going to solve the previous year questions also as we cover the topics and the practice questions. Along with them, I will be structuring the answers also, how you should write the answers. Obviously, you cannot write the answers from the first go. It will take some time, but we will be writing the answers also. So last thing that we have to do in today's is, what are your queries? Anything you want to ask, I am ready to answer it. Please ask. Whatever queries you have, please ask. We are ready to answer that. Let us see what all queries you have. Quickly, I am giving you a few minutes. Whatever queries you have, please ask. Again, we will be starting the Pinnacle batch 2028 from the subject of geography. Today was an introductory class where we introduced what are the aspects associated with geography and the dimensions which we have taught. We will be beginning this from the second lecture, that is tomorrow. Okay, somebody is asking how to make notes, actually running notes with speed and understandable writing. I'll be writing everything on the board and you will be noting it down. I'm not those person who just simply dictates and writes few words and leave it for the students. I'll be writing everything on the board. So you will get immense time or lot of time in order to write your notes. Please understand. Clear? Number of classes. Initially, you will have just one class, like geography classes. Later on, the classes will become two, but you will have just one class initially. Okay? I'm torn between Hindi and English for my 27 UPSC attempt. I can handle basic English, but my writing and structure aren't exam ready yet. Would it be wiser to change to English or continue with Hindi? If you are writing your examination in English, please understand, it is advisable to take English medium only because listen, you learn English by listening and practicing. If you are writing your examination in Hindi, then obviously you will take Hindi. But if you're writing in English, please take English because that is a reason for why that is the reason how you can improve your English. Otherwise, you will never be able to improve it. Classes are going to be on YouTube or PWL. Please remember, first class of every batch is online through YouTube. From second class is going to be on the Pinnacle batch, that is a paid batch on the PW app. Sir, this batch will cover, whenever I am teaching any subject, bache, I will be covering the NCRTs, including the advanced books, so everything will be covered. Do we have to read? Beta, whatever I'll write on the board, you will have to write it in your notes and your notes will be ready so that those will be so holistic that you will have no problem. You just need to revise them. Clear? I've already answered the topic with just you are asking NCRTs. Yes, I will be covering these over here. Okay. What will the class? The classes are going to be from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Later on, the time might change, but right now, from tomorrow also, the classes are from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Any other query? Later on, the classes might be we might add, but right now, for some time, we are just having one class a day. Can we get the schedule of other subjects? That will be once you have subscribed over there, you will be getting the updation from the batch team. No need to worry about that. Sir, I want to clear my UPSC at the age of 21. Can I join the batch? Yes, you can join. But remember, do not neglect your college studies and all. This is a 2-year batch. Remember, this is a 2-year batch. And 2-year batch means everything will be covered at a pace which is you will be able to manage also. So there will be daily classes from Monday to Saturday. Clear? Clear? Okay. Anything related to this you want to ask? Am I clear? With schedule with respect to the other GS subjects also will be uploaded. Firstly, when all those who subscribe the batch, the geography syllabus and the aspect have been uploaded. How to join the Pinnacle batch? What you can do is you can download the app. In that, you can go to the batches. Over there, write Pinnacle 2028. You will get an icon where my photo, Nicholas's photo, and all those photos will be there. Pinnacle 2028. You can subscribe, or you can subscribe through the website also. But app is fine. Daily class are not on YouTube. That classes are not on YouTube. The first class is on YouTube. This class now from next second class will be on the app only. That is on the Pinnacle 2028 batch. Sir, who takes PSIR optional? The person who is going to take PSIR optional is going to be Sumit Revri sir. From now onwards, I take anthropology optional. Sumit Revri sir takes PSIR optional. Shekhar sir takes sociology optional. Nikhil sir takes public administration optional. Okay. I guess it is clear. Any other query that you have? Right? Any other query that you have, you can just let me know. We are happy to have you as our students also, right? So provide test series on Sunday. Bache test, see, let me tell you something. I will be giving you lots of questions in the class also. So you don't need to worry. For all those who want a proper test series, you can add on to the batch, select 360 along with the batch, and over there you can get the access to the test series also. Clear? Okay. Somebody is asking. It is fine, beta. If you have a little 2 years old, it is fine. No problem in that. It will work. It will work. No problem. Any other query you have, please ask me. Else I will end the session. Any other query? Quickly. Otherwise, we'll end the session. So start from basics. Beta, remember, it is going to start from the most basic aspect. From the most basic aspect, I'll start. I will assume that you are in school, right? I will assume that you are in school, and slowly, I will increase the level to the level which is required by UPSC. Somebody is asking how to speak English with fluency. Remember one thing, that is why I tell, if you want to learn English and speak English, you should listen to English also, right? That is why all those who are writing their UPSC attempt in English medium, they should subscribe to English, because they'll be able to listen and then speak also English. So first thing is, try to speak English. Do not worry about the fact that you are speaking wrong. Doesn't matter, you will improve. Try to speak in English. Listen to English. Listening is something very important that enhances your English skills, right? Read the newspapers. That is very important. Clear? Okay. So can we ask, sir, we can't be able to ask questions in PW. Beta, you can ask any questions. Every single slide when I write on the board, I will ask you, have you understood everything? Then only I will move to the next slide. Otherwise, I will not move. So all those who know me from the anthropology optional batch also that I take, I ask every single paragraph and every single line. I ask the students if they have understood, only then I move ahead. So you don't need to worry. Ask as many questions as you want in the batch also. Okay. Yes, Bache, you can take Sanjay, but do not neglect your school education. That is most important. Is PDF note enough, or we don't need to prepare running notes? Beta, whatever I am writing in the class, you will have to write on your notebook. You need to have please understand, from tomorrow, have a A4 sheet register. You know the register, A4 sheet register, where there are no lines, right? Just what you need to do, maintain a margin like this. And I want a blank register that should be present with you, every single candidate who is basically attending the batch. You will have to write a lot of things. Those are your notes. Those are the crux notes which you need to revise. Are you going to take? I am not taking in the Titan batch. I am only taking in the Pinnacle batch right now. Titan batch is being taken by Pranjal sir. I am taking here only in the Pinnacle batch. Please remember, I am going to take geography only in the Pinnacle batch. Only in the Pinnacle batch, not in the Titan batch. Please be very clear about it. Clear? What is the cost for optional? Beta, cost for the optional, you can go through the app. You can see for yourself. I think though updation and certain discounts are going on, you can see through the app, the prices are mentioned. You can just see that. How to choose optional? Beta, yesterday only I had a session where I had discussed 2-year strategy. There I have discussed optional choosing. Optional choosing should be depending upon the fact that whether you are liking a subject, you have an interest in the subject. If you have a graduation of that subject, then it is good. Otherwise, then also you can do. If the teacher who is teaching, you are able to relate to that, material is available, and obviously proper guidance is available, you should take that. Remember, do not take the subject simply because it is overlapping with GS, because it is a different subject in altogether, and you have to score well. Optional means scoring as high as possible. Clear? Somebody is asking me, sir, explain about UPSC exam. It is Union Public Service Commission, which conducts a lot of examinations. Out of that, civil services is one, which has prelim, mains, and interview stage, and all the IAS, IPS, IRS officers that are selected are from through this examination. It is considered one of the toughest examinations in the world, or rather second toughest after the French civil services exam, and 13 lakh plus people fill the form, and last 1000 or 1200 people get selected. So this is about, in totality, the civil services examination. Clear? Okay, so what topic include in anthropology subject? Anthropology includes study of human beings. It will cover aspect of little bit history also, art and culture also, aspect, tribal aspect also, little bit of science also. So whatever we study with respect to human beings is included in that. You can see the syllabus, it will be helpful for you also. Clear? Anything else? Yes, you can. Where to join the class? You can join the class, go to the PW app, and in that app, please click on that bar option where batches are present, select UPSC obviously, and then in the batches, you will see a lot of options where you can subscribe to Pinnacle 2028. You can ask as many questions, there is no problem. Okay, so God bless you, all of you. We will continue this session, but on the app, not on the YouTube. Though I keep on coming on the YouTube with a lot of sessions, you know that very well. And obviously, you have seen a lot of lectures of mine on the YouTube channel. Just go through that, you will see them. I have been taking so many marathons, so many sessions of geography, India, world mapping, and the geography with respect to the continents also. So I am there also, you can see on the YouTube. But obviously, when you are in the batch, we are doing it in more detail. We are solving the queries of every candidate also. So those things are available. No, bache, I am not teaching geography optional. I only teach geography general studies and anthropology optional. I do not teach geography optional. Clear? So God bless you. Lots of love from my side. It was wonderful having you today in the first session. From tomorrow onwards, the classes will begin, where we will be beginning with the Earth's movement, where concepts of latitude, longitude, rotation, revolution, all those aspects will be covered in detail, and a lot of numericals with respect to timing will also be done. So we will be meeting you tomorrow. All those who are subscribed to the batch, meet you tomorrow. And all those who still have queries, I'll be still present there to resolve them. Clear? Please teach in English. I am from South India. I am going to teach completely in English. No other word of any other language is going to be used, because this batch is completely English. So we are going to teach in English only, right? Okay. So after running notes, should we make final notes? Beta, the running notes are made. You should revise them, highlight the important ones, and those will be your important notes. Clear? Okay, somebody saying, sir, I have joined Praram, but now I am feeling joining this might be helpful. Beta, every teacher who is teaching, all those teachers teaching in Praram are also wonderful teachers. So you learn from the teachers, no problem. All teachers are good. We're always there. Take you. God bless. Lots of love from my side. I'll be meeting you tomorrow on the batch that is Pinnacle 2028 batch. That is starting with geography. Lots of love from my side. If you like the class, you can rate your ratings to help us to even work harder. If you, whatever your experience was with respect to the session, please do mention in the comment section. We'll be helpful there. Helpful for me also in further putting a lot of effort for you. It is really helpful for us when we see your comments. So God bless, take care and Jai Hind.